Good morning everyone. Here is my video representation for Advanced Stream Stability and Stress or SIM 226. My name is Cadet Dayonot Nayak Rizal and I am here to explain the ship's dry dock. So first of all, what is dry docking? So dry docking is a term used for repairs or when a ship is taken to the service yard. During dry docking, the whole ship is brought to a dry land so that the submerged portions of the hull can be cleaned or inspected. So, before all the dry docking, what is the first thing to do or the preparations for the dry docking? So, preparing the ship for dry docking. First, make a repair and maintenance list, create or obtain a dry dock handbook if required, and assign responsible ship staff to their duties on the list and divide staff into groups to oversee the work carried out by yard gangs. Also, all spare parts must be checked and repair items kept ready for use. Previous dry dock reports should be studied and previous clearance measures noted. Clean engine room tank top at bilges. Prepare sewage treatment tanks, dirty oil tanks and bilge tanks. Also, flushing of bulbs liners is to be carried out prior to dry docking. So the oil water separators filtered elements should be renewed and system checked for satisfactory operation. So all of these are the preparation for the ship of dry docking. And to minimize the time, I'll post it into the elements for the viewers. So during the dry docking, the main purpose of the dry dock is to expose the underwater parts for inspection, repair, and maintenance. The ship is to be repaired, is hence maneuvered into the lock and gates are sealed, post which all the sea water accumulated in the sea vessel is drained for better inspection and repairs. So a dry docking has consist of two common. The first one is the graving excavated dock. The graving or excavated dock is constructed on the land near to the shore using the concrete to build walls, blocks, and gates. This is the most basic form of docking technique where the ship is maneuvered inside the dock, arrested on the blocks post which is the gates are closed and water is released from the ship. So this is the common dry dock we usually you see in the Philippines or international. So as you can see, it said here that it is excavated land, so near the shore. So when the ship is maneuvered inside, the gate will be locked and the seawater will be flushed away. And then the procedure of dry docking or the maintenance will be hence. So next type of the dry dock is the floating dock. So floating docks are specifically used to have met with accidents or broken down in the middle of the sea. A U-shaped structure called pontoons are used to salvage ships from mid-sea. So these U-shaped structures are filled with water which makes the dock go underwater, helping the ship to sail. Once the ship is secured and brought to the repair area, the water is released, making the dock to rise up and exposing the parts underwater. So floating dock also at Cebu, we can see that the dry dock or the floating dock used to get a ship or a ship that is already sunk in the middle of the sea and get into the top of it and make the maintenance to see the damage that has been taken. So just like a tow truck, once the vessel is carried by this floating dock, the preparation for the maintenance and the repair is to be hence also. So what happens when a ship goes into the dry dock? So once the vessel enters the dry dock, the gates are closed and the seawater is drained out of the hull, and the parts of the ship which have been exposed to seawater for a long time are exposed for carrying out maintenance and repair works. So once the dry dock happens, so this example is like the excavated or driving excavated dock. So once the ship is entered the excavated dock, the gate will be closed and the water will be flushed away and exposing the hull of the below of the ship, parts that are exposed to the water sea water I mean, and let the repair or maintenance seek the damage or the parts that must be repaired. So as per SOLAS requirements, all the merchant vessels require a complete survey of this hull in the dry dock twice between 5 years period and an intermediate survey without within not more than 36 months. This includes maintenance of the hull, propeller, rudder, etc., and the parts which are immersed in the water are normally accessible by staff when the ship is sailing. For passenger ship, inspections of the ship's bottom to the tour such inspections in a period of 5 years must be carried in the dry dock, and maximum intervals between these inspections should be 3 years. So there is a difference maintenance or a period of maintenance for the types of vessel. So commonly, 5-year period or 36 months is the common repair maintenance for a ship. So the question that will be asked is, do ships really need to be dry docked? Why? So for my dry docking a ship is the way to complete expose the hull below that waterline and order to perform needed maintenance and repairs which would be impossible sitting in the water. A dry dock is a large basin in a shipyard next to harbor, so it has doors or gates on the harbor end. The dock is flooded, the gates are opened, and the ship will pull into the dock and the gate and to the blocks and the bottom of the dock. So when the work is complete, the dock is allowed to flood back to the harbor level, refloating the ship. Gates are then the open the ship towed out of the dock. This is basically how the process works. So it is very important to dry dock a ship for safety purposes and expose those dents and all the parts below that needs repair. Also, it's important for the ships to be dry docked because the tendency of having a shipwreck is high. If the maintenance for dry dock, sorry for the misencoding, for the dry dock is delayed. So to have safe travels on the navigation, we must seek to have the ship dry docked. So, my explanation here, it is important to have the dry dock because if this ship is always sitting in the, I mean, always floating in the water without maintenance, the ship may be have a dents or maybe have a corrosion below that cannot be seen by the personnel or the staff of the ship or crew of the ship. So dry docking is important because it can less the uh, repair cost if the dents are maintained always, I mean, maintained annually or the required days or months or years to be dried up. So that's all for my video. Thank you for listening and goodbye.